guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cecy and in today's video we're gonna talk about my internship abroad. Specifically, mentioned in the videos before, I went to internship at the beginning of this year to Bangkok, Thailand. So I want to give you an overview of the internship. An overview in the sense of how I got there, how I communicate with the company. Also a little bit of the overview during the internship, but I'm not gonna go into detail because I'm gonna talk about that in different videos later. The internship I got was actually part of a program that I go to because my university had a specific partnership with the agency that I signed the contract with. Most of the medium to big universities that I know usually have programs and they have partnerships with other universities or have programs to work abroad for international opportunities. It also depends on the type of career that you're going for. For example, my career is in hospitality, and as gastronomy, it has a lot of opportunities abroad. You can work in different things such as, restaurants, hotels, everywhere that you have a little something on touristic attraction or something interesting for tourists. There you can work as hospitality or gastronomy. Nonetheless, careers as business management, also social media, even graphic design, they are also very suited to go to internship abroad or do things abroad because you can use this type of career anywhere in any type of business. It's different for careers such as, psychology, maybe science, engineering, because it tends to be more segregated. Also things like law, you have to memorize the specific things on your country, so it's a little bit more difficult. But there's still a lot of things to see around, so if you're interested on internship in abroad, I would highly recommend to do your own research, and I'm sure there should be something for you. So you don't find like a specific internship, there's a lot of options as well to study abroad. I think there's a lot of pros and cons on both things, on studying abroad and having an internship. When you study abroad, you're like a student, you don't have a requirement to be working, but you obviously have to take care of your expenses. Whereas if you're an intern, you are working, so you are getting paid and you're getting more like benefits, monetary talking, but also you have to be mindful that you have the commitment to be working for a specific amount of time and you have to be responsible of that. It would be definitely easier if your university already has the agreements because you already know that it's secure and everything, but even if your university doesn't, for example, my university doesn't have things or agreements, or didn't have at that time with Disney, which was something that I also wanted to look for. You can still go and look for the opportunities yourself. Actually, even me, my internship, I took the contact from my university, but my whole process was directly with me and the agency. Like literally the only thing that I asked for from my university was a university letter for my visa, but everything else I did by myself. So don't worry if your university doesn't have a specific program or agreement, you can always look for yourself. Just be careful of, there's some agencies that are scam agencies. I've heard of people that you invest a lot and then the agency just disappears. So be careful with that, research, and always look for, somebody that has already worked with them, that they already have their experience. And for example, I'm talking about my experience, so I know it's a legit agency, so just be careful with that. My specific program was a hospitality and culinary internship abroad, like tourism, hospitality itself. It differs. For example, mine is tourism business management, or others are just like tourism. And usually internships with agencies, they're meant to be for people who are currently studying or that have graduated within the 12-month period of time. If you're interested in my specific internship, I will leave the link down below. I'd like to make a video part specifically talking about why and how I chose Thailand as my internship country, but I think it comes down to three main things for me. It was the culture, it was the cheapness of the place, and also it was the benefits of the program itself. With this I mean the salary, the accommodation, the benefits in general of the program, how many hours you're gonna work, and all of the other benefits that are provided by the agency and the company. And this varies a lot depending on the place that you choose. For example, if you go to the US, the accommodation is probably not going to be included, and it's also very expensive, but you get paid more. So you have to think of the places that you are interested in and really research how much is it going to be, the cost of living there, and all the things, like if you have to take a transport to go to your workplace, if you have to do extra things, you have to pay for your food and things like that. So that's basically why I chose Thailand, but I'm gonna talk about that in a different video more in detail. Especially now afterwards that I already went through the process and everything, and I can reinforce why I made my decision. So if you're thinking on something in Southeast Asia, you want something cheap, I'll talk about this later, but this is one of the main reasons why. Now about the process, I could literally make a maybe 20-minute video about every single detail of the process. You know, when I was in university, I used to be a student counselor. I also worked with the international department, and I was in the tourism board. So it was not a requirement, but I learned every single aspect of, you know, internships abroad, things like that, because I was also gonna do it myself. So I could literally give you, you know, all the details that you need, my own experience, tips and tricks to make it easy for you to be more organized with the process and the documentation. But if you like to know more about it, just leave it in the comments below. To give you an idea though, my specific agency had four main steps in the process. The first one was the enrollment, the second one was the placement, then was the visa, and then the arrival. So again, if you want a video on the process and tips and tricks, let me know, but I'm gonna go straight forward to the arrival time. When I arrived to Thailand, I just had 2 days to settle down. My arrival was almost went straight from university studying to working. I didn't have like a chill time or anything. I'll talk about this later. But my arrival was very rushed. I didn't feel it that rushed though. And when I arrived, I basically had to start memorizing things right away for the job and learning and adapting to the work environment. Also, the first months were very, I suppose all the interns go through this, you know, like you are very excited, you want to do everything, you want to go everywhere, and you want to learn about the culture and things like that. So my first months were very nice as well. I was learning a lot of things, I was meeting a lot of people and going to different events, and it was very fun. My accommodation was a very simple one. It was literally across the street, and this was very great for me, especially at the beginning, and also going to the country thinking that I didn't have to spend time and money on transport. Though this is also a difficult thing to be like found yourself in, because when you were very busy, you have a lot of interesting shifts and things like that in the workplace. There was probably a few days that you just don't leave the place. You go from work to sleep and back and forth and back and forth, and also because they provide the meals, I sometimes didn't even had to go to buy groceries or things of that matter. So yeah, it was very nice because I didn't have to spend money or time in transport, but also I was basically my whole life and my work were exactly in the same area. My shifts were actually one of the nicest ones, I would say, if I compare it to the people that I met, the other interns that I met. I had to work 5 times a week, so I had 3 days a week, and I had to work, I think, around 8 hours. As to the other interns, they had to work, most of them 6 times a week and more hours. And in the reception area, in the reception field at least, a lot of people, and this is not just interns, it's like everybody had to wear heels. Me, I was actually very comfortable. We didn't have to wear heels. We had a very chill uniform, and the shifts were actually very chill when there was not like a lot of people and things like that. There was always, you know, the time of the rush, and there was a lot, like, you know, weeks and weeks that were very busy, and then some weeks were a little bit more calm. I had to say though, like, my hotel was not like a huge hotel, it was just like a small hotel, I think 100 and something rooms, but nothing compared to, I don't know, Lebua or Marriott. Because of the lack of staff and other situations that were happening though, the shift started to go a little bit out of control. You know, I didn't really work more. I just, we have to cover for other people missing, in the sense of like people were resigning or things like that, and we have to keep the standard by you know, doing the shifts that were needed. So it got a little bit crazy. Maybe you know, you know, I'm talking on these videos thinking that it's mainly people that I know because they're my face videos, so I suppose you know a little bit about my story or you heard something in social media or whatever. But I was meant to be in Thailand for a full year and I cut my internship short halfway. And it was not just because I was, you know, crazy and I wanted to travel. I did wanted to travel, but my plan was to do the full year to, you know, get the money and things like that and then go travel. But there was a couple of issues that happened that led me to quitting ultimately. And I'm not gonna talk about this in this video because that's gonna be the topic of next week's video. So if you wanna know more about that, stay tuned and subscribe. Also, if you're interested, last week's video was about my full first year abroad. So the 15th of January I turned 1 year abroad, and in that video I talk about a little bit more of this internship, but like in general, and also I talk a little bit about the other place that I lived in, which is New Zealand. So if you're interested in that, please give it a go and check it. I'll leave the link in the description below and also see the tab at the end of this video. Please let me know if you'd like to know something specific about my internship experience or internships in general. And please like, share and subscribe. Also, my social media is down below, so check it out if you are interested. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching and bye bye!